Hollywood, image is everything, and stars are expected to look absolutely perfect. Hello, everybody. I'm Maria Menounos for Jan Carl.
And I'm Mark Steinis. Jamie Lee Curtis has revealed she's had work done. So have Lisa Kudrow and Suzanne Summers. Plastic surgery used to be Hollywood's best-kept secret. Well, now, stars are admitting they've been nipped and tucked, and celebrity plastic surgery is out in the open.
I've had every cosmetic procedure in small doses.
Like what?
I've had a little under eye work done. I had some of that Botox put in. I had a little liposuction done one time when I was going to do a movie and I had to be in a bathing suit, and I was petrified that people would see that I didn't look the way people kept saying, hard body, hot.
Jamie Lee told me she's open about her plastic surgery. Other stars have also come clean about going under the knife.
I think plastic surgery is great. I think anything that makes you look better.
Suzanne Summers found her body swelling after radiation treatment for breast cancer, so she went in for liposuction.
I walked into the front door of the clinic. I wasn't hiding. It didn't even seem like a big deal to me.
But when someone alerted the tabloids, she got a lot more press than she bargained for.
Somebody in there sold my information, and that's what's awful.
Does that make you angry?
Well, where's privacy? I mean, at least before you used to be able to go to the doctor and think that nobody's going to talk about it.
Now everyone is talking about it. Lisa Kudrow recently revealed she had a nose job years ago.
What's really interesting is that she came out and said she didn't think they did a very good job, and she isn't very happy with it. Particularly for someone so, young and successful and popular and thought of as very attractive, to come out and say that it kind of broke a barrier down. Like, now plastic surgery is a more normal conversation.
Everybody Loves Raymond's Patricia Heaton took me on a trip to her hometown of Cleveland and talked about her plastic surgery, which she included in her recent book, Motherhood and Hollywood.
I had 4 10-pound boys in rapid succession, and they were all individual C-sections, and I carried all out front. That tends to do something to a gal's body that's irreversible, basically. So I had this big, wrinkly, sort of flesh sack. Oh, it's a delightful interview, hanging off the front of my body. So I decided that was time to go under the knife, and I am so happy with that happening. And also, I had my breasts lifted because after nursing all these guys in succession, they were just about down to my knees and were, whapping against my chest on my morning jog, and not very attractive. And the benefit to having them lifted, I have to say, was I lost about 3 inches off my waistline because I no longer had to tuck them into my belt. So all in all, it's been very beneficial. I'm a big believer in it.
I had my face lifted.
Singer Deborah Harry of Blondie, whose greatest hits is in stores now, admitted to us she's also had work done, and she wants more.
As a theatrical person, it really appeals to me, wow, oh my God, look how she looks. It's so different. My God, it's a new lease on life.
And even Oscar winner Halle Berry had to have a scar removed from her forehead after a car accident.
I've had some procedures done, and so it's getting a lot better, and, it'll be what it'll be.
In the past, it was a big deal when stars talked about their plastic surgery. Carol Burnett was one of the first.
She had a chin implant, which was very radical in those days, really not now. It took a lot of recovery. It was not being done, but it did soften her look, make her look very different.
It bothers everybody to get older, especially women, especially fairly attractive women that start to deteriorate, and you start seeing all those miles on you.
The tabloids claimed Dolly Parton had a lot of work done, but all she'd tell us is that she was certainly willing.
Well, I would do plastic surgery. Anything it takes to make me feel comfortable, I would do it, and I'll probably never graduate from college.
Barbara Hershey reportedly had a lip job temporarily.
Barbara Hershey was probably one of the very first stars in Hollywood to supposedly have collagen in her lips for the movie Beaches, and to do it just for a role. Now, it's hard to believe she did it just for a role, but the fact is it was in the nature of her character, and it was gone after the movie. It did cause a giant wave of Hollywood women to start putting collagen in their lips, and then lip surgeries.
Melanie Griffith was another star who was honest about plastic surgery.
She said she had her breasts lifted, Melanie Griffith, because she'd had a fair amount of children. And, you know, these sex stars, this, by the way, this breast lifting app, particularly after having 2 or more children, is becoming very, very common. I know the wife of an Emmy Award-winning star this year who did it right before the Emmy so her dress would look better. And she's only in her mid-30s. You know, this is becoming a much more common surgery.
Cher has been open in print about her surgery, but says it's really just her own business.
If I want to have my breasts put on my back, they're mine. You know, it's like, if I want to do something to myself, I will.
And Donald's ex, Ivana Trump, had work done after Donald dumped her.
Ivana Trump did the plastic surgery as empowerment thing after the divorce. And, you know, it is very common after a big breakup or a divorce like that for women to go and do something radical. Change their hair color, have a facelift, have the breasts lifted, have liposuction, whatever. And she looks so radically different. She looked fabulous. It obviously changed her life. And also women came out in support of her, like, yeah, my husband divorced me and I'm going to do that now.
But for all of those who agreed to get on the operating table, there are those who just said no, even when others were telling them yes.
Barbra Streisand always said that people were after her to have her nose done. And I know that people who are considered very beautiful now, like Jennifer Aniston, who's Greek, and Rita Wilson, and even Gisele Bündchen, the fabulous Brazilian bombshell supermodel, were asked at some point to have their, you know, slightly bumpy noses turned down a little bit, you know, made more aquiline, and all said no. And interestingly, they all have great careers and a great deal of individual style.
Coming up, getting rid of the fat.
I couldn't get my love handles off or my stomach flat. The movie stars come in and they want to be perfect.
I'll tell you about the newest way to look thin.
Now we're going to do a little trick.
Kenny Rogers' painful procedure.
Oh God, let me remember that I don't ever want to do this again.
Why Rosie is mad at Joan.
That face is frightening.
A star's liposuction.
He sucked out all the fat.
And a special report on Hollywood's youth obsession from one of John Ritter's TV daughters.
Why more stars are speaking out about the pressure to be perfect.
As Entertainment Tonight uncovers more of Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
Makeup is to change, and liposuction was the answer.
I had a bit of an eye job where he sucked out all the fat of my eye. Well, he lifted it out, actually.
Marilyn chose Omnisound liposuction used by Dr. Patrick Abergel. The procedure virtually liquefies the fat tissue, and as a result, patients heal faster.
He also melted fat that was under my chin and sucked it out.
This before and after shows why Marilyn was so pleased.
This procedure doesn't do this. You're not going to get that. You're going to get how you are, look refreshed, and that's what I wanted.
Perhaps the biggest news in liposuction is the no downtime procedures.
If you're still going to do a small little area, like a little love handle, no matter what you can't get rid of, or a little area, like a little so-called saddlebag, you can go back to work the next day if it's a small area that you're in good shape.
Howard Sobel is a New York-based dermatologic cosmetic surgeon whose clientele includes several high-profile actors.
The movie stars come in and they want to be perfect. Okay, as perfect as they can be.
Of course, liposuction is a cornerstone of cosmetic surgery, but Dr. Sobel says there's a new type of patient for the procedure.
I do more people now that are in good shape, that work out and go to the gym regularly, have great diets, than I do people that are, God, I just want to eat, have milkshakes and hamburgers and just suck out the fat, doctor.
The latest liposuction techniques allow many patients to have just a local anesthetic, and the surgery becomes a true collaboration.
We do the part of the procedure, or most of it, then we stand them up, we have a full-length mirror, they look at it, and they look at it with me, and they say, gee, can you do a little more here? Can we touch it up? And then we remark them. We lie them back down again, and then we do some more.
This patient re-sculpted her stomach. This woman took years off her neck, and even arms can look tighter. One of the newest weapons of choice in the battle against aging is the MedLight 2. This laser can zap away age spots, and Dr. Sobel put it to the test when an actress was prepping for a nude scene.
She needed a clean body. When I say a clean body, she didn't want all these little spots on her. And it took about a half hour, and we cleaned her up totally. And she's gonna have scabs for a couple of days and a little red, and then she's gonna look like she did, hopefully, when she was 15 years of age.
Another advance, the Cool Touch laser helps the body help itself look younger. It builds up your natural collagen, plumps up your skin, and attacks wrinkles as well as scars. It's just one of the reasons why investment specialist Suzanne Murphy sees her doctor nearly every 2 weeks.
There's always something. It's like going to the hairdresser. I think it's kept me looking very young. I'm 30, almost 35, and people routinely tell me I look like I'm in my early 20s.
Now we're going to do a little trick.
Botox, which essentially paralyzes facial muscles and prevents wrinkles, may be today's leading procedure.
Now I'm going to show you some of the newer areas that we do for Botox. I'm going to inject underneath her eye to raise her eyebrow a little, to give her a little eye lift. And the lines above on her forehead, those are all going to be gone.
A combination of Botox, collagen, and her own fat saved this woman from reconstructive surgery following a car accident.
We filled in the area with fat, and we made her pretty much symmetrical.
Products such as Botox, collagen, and even the patient's own fat are called injectables, and they last for a few months. But now doctors offer a product that makes permanent changes. Silicone 1000 is on the leading edge. It's a medical version of everyday silicone. Once a line is filled in, it's filled in for good, but the procedure is time-consuming.
It's very important the intervals between injections not be less than a month apart.
Dr. Sobel knows some people never want to see a needle or an operating room. That's why he's developed a skincare line he calls DDF, Doctor's Dermatologic Formula. He claims that Deborah Messing, Callista Flockhart, and Sandra Bullock all use it. But whether you're a Hollywood star or an everyday person, there's a brave new world of cosmetic fixes that will help you put on a better face. Now, Botox isn't just for women. Coming up next, we're in Danny Bonaducci's home as he gets the needle.
You want to know something creepy? Yeah. You can hear it.
His and hers Botox, liposuction, a nose job. They're Hollywood's plastic surgery couple.
What's wrong with looking as good as you possibly can look? I think...
That's, of course, coming from a girl with no original parts on her.
As Entertainment Tonight uncovers more of Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
The 2003 Mercury Sable LS Premium comes with the government's highest front crash test rating for great peace of mind. Anti-lock brakes for great safety, plus leather-trimmed seats for great comfort. You also get great savings on those features, a $1,495 value, no charge. And now get Sable with 0% APR for 60 months or $3,000 cash back. See your local Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Park and play moment, number 314.
One more.
Cadillac Escalade and the new Escalade ESV. Drive out loud. Cadillac. Breakthrough.
0% financing for 60 months on all new 2003 Cadillac Escalade models. Visit your Cadillac dealer.
Thinking about pizza? Think bruschetta. Think bruschetta. Taste the sensation.
The Lexus ES. An automobile so luxurious we thought of everything. Even this special lease. $399 a month for 36 months, with $3,049 due at signing on approved credit. See Lexus of Wayzata and Lexus of Maplewood.
Monday on Entertainment Tonight, the new American Idol. If you're already missing the show, we have the spin-off where the singers are kids.
I'm coming out.
VIP rooms, secret entrances, even a girl in a champagne glass. Behind the velvet ropes to see how stars like Leo really party. Ray Romano's first movie. But what's with the mustache? And get ready, fame is back. That's Monday. Plus, Welcome back to Entertainment Tonight as we uncover Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets. For many years, it was only women who were getting facelifts and liposuction. Well, now men are getting work done, and we were there as the Partridge Family's Danny Bonaducci got injected with Botox.
Should I look? Oh. Okay, I need you to hold your head very still and a nice big frown, okay? Nice big frown. Relax the frown, Danny. Relax, relax. Small poke. Botox injections to my face, you can pretty much be guaranteed wasn't my idea. I came about because she thinks I look much cuter with less wrinkles. I kind of dig the Sharpay look.
Encouraged by his wife, Gretchen, Danny is undergoing one of the most popular cosmetic procedures. In the privacy of his own home, Dr. David Amron is administering Botox to Danny.
You want to know something creepy? Yeah. You can hear it.
But Danny experiences very little pain or discomfort, and he knows from past experience that Botox can really work wonders.
I had it done. I didn't tell anybody. And about 2 weeks later, Dick Clark comes up to me on the set of The Other Half. And he said, hey, I was watching the show on the TV monitor. You look 10 years younger. What did you do?
More and more men are coming in for Botox. I'd say about 20% of my patients are now men getting Botox done.
Gretchen's been using Botox for years.
I just think it makes such a difference in your appearance. You really just look like you're not tired all the time, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I kind of feel bad that people want to put the stigma on plastic surgery. What's wrong with looking as good as you possibly can look? You know, I think...
That's, of course, coming from a girl with no original parts on her. we like to say at the Bonaducci house, if Gretchen were cloned, it would look nothing like her.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's true.
We'd say, hey, who's your ugly friend?
And Gretchen has no qualms about revealing all the work she has had done.
I had breast augmentation, I've had rhinoplasty, and I've had my lips done, and I have Botox. I just do not understand why people have a problem with it. It's like a car. If you do your maintenance on your car every year, it's gonna last a lot longer, and that's the way I look at plastic surgery.
Danny is not interested in more face work, but after his Botox, he discusses liposuction with Dr. Amron.
So what would you do if I said, hey, doctor, do whatever needs to be done, carte blanche, money is no object, recovery time is no object, what would you do on that?
Right. All I do is love handles. This is about a 1-hour procedure, and again, this I really feel should be done under local anesthesia.
Danny had lost 40 pounds, but gained about 15 back. He acknowledges he's looking for a shortcut and liked the results he achieved when he underwent the procedure 8 years ago.
I had it done when I was very thin, because I couldn't get my love handles off or my stomach flat. Well, the stomach stayed pretty flat, but the love handles did come back, and I'm thinking about having them done again.
Back in 1991, singer Kenny Rogers admitted to E.T. that his sleek physique came courtesy of liposuction. He had excess fat removed from his midsection.
It used to hurt me more when I would get reviews that would say, pudgy Kenny Rogers would, and they wouldn't even talk about the music. I found out that I was a perfect candidate for liposuction because it's really designed, I think, for people who have excessive weight in areas. If you're overall heavy, it doesn't work.
Kenny vividly described how he felt after surgery.
Uncomfortable for 2 or 3 days. That's all. I mean, it's like a bruising. It's like you've been in a bar fight and someone's punched you and given you a stomach punch or a rabbit punch for a couple of days. But that's it. And after about the 3rd day, it gets less and less and less. And then, after about a week, you're glad you did it. But the first 2 or 3 days, you say, oh, God, let me remember that I don't ever want to do this again.
Since Kenny's experience with liposuction, the procedure has been refined. Beverly Hills plastic surgeon Richard Ellenbogen explained one of the latest advances, Vaser-assisted liposuction.
This is the Vaser machine, very compact little unit. What it does, different than any other liposuction machine, is it has an ultrasound assist. What this special new type of very aggressive ultrasound does is before we suck out the fat, we put a probe into the skin and it emulsifies the fat and liquefies the fat. The previous ultrasound machines did something similar, but this does it to a much more efficient way.
There are many pluses to this new method.
The results are extremely smooth. You can actually do this very, very artistically. Patients recover very quickly with very, very little pain, and the amount of fat you can take out is more.
Hair replacement for baldness is still in high demand in Hollywood. Also growing in popularity are pectoral implants, which make a man look like he has a well-developed chest without working out.
This is an example of a woman's implant, which is sort of a silicone shell with gel in it. And then this is the male implant, which is a solid silicone material.
Beverly Hills facial, plastic, and reconstructive surgeon Paul Nassif says he has seen a large increase in the number of men exploring surgical options to improve their appearance.
They start off with something like Botox, and then the next procedure they get, which is very popular, is having something to do with eye rejuvenation.
That's why Gary Marshall has come to see the doctor. A successful character actor, Gary has a role in George Clooney's upcoming film, Intolerable Cruelty. Gary thinks he needs a brow lift and to have the excess skin and fat removed from his eyelids.
I'm not sure that it's as obvious to other people as it is to me.
You will have a small incision right in the crease of your eyelid.
The doctor is concerned that a brow lift may alter Gary's look too radically. He recommends that Gary consider surgery on his eyelids and under the eyes.
By going inside the eye, okay, no visible incision at all. We're going to remove some fat over here, take this existing fat here, move it from the area where it's bulging, and put it in the area where it's hollow.
Realistically, what the doctor's thinking it's going to do is make it a better-looking Gary, not a different-looking Gary, a better-looking, rested Gary that does this less.
Coming up, more stars go under the knife.
Grow gracefully?
Why Joan and Rosie are having a plastic surgery feud.
Fact is, she looks weird.
Drew Barrymore's mother's facelift.
My actual chronological age, I'm 55. I think I probably look in my mid-30s.
As Entertainment Tonight uncovers more of Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
Old Navy, your destination for summer fun. Old Navy promises something for everyone. It's not hard to look hot with all that we've got for you.
Hurry in. This week only. Graphic tees for women and men are the item of the week. Now just $9.
Shop our store. We're expecting you. Old Navy.
Introducing new body wash from Old Spice.
Put my love to the test.
It has a dual action formula, so you'll get really clean, smell really great.
Hey there, need help with your anatomy homework?
New body wash from Old Spice.
I love that fire grill, citrus thrill, flavor-filled. Chili's is the place for me.
Citrus fired chicken, spicy garlic shrimp. Chili's citrus fired chicken and shrimp. Want more flavor?
A few years ago, I get this pain. It's no big whoop, just a little heartburn. Yeah, a burning, piercing fireball right here. So I cut down on the foods that bother me. I changed my diet. I worked out. Even my mom tries to help.
Son, try sleeping on an incline.
So I slipped some 2x4s under my bed. Oh yeah, my wife really loved that one. Then I started drinking that chalky stuff, popping acid reducers, and it all helped, but the pain keeps coming back 2-3 days a week. Okay, finally visit my doctor. He says it's acid reflux disease and prescribes Prevacid to help prevent the acid and heal the damage. So I take it like he says, and guess what? It really helps stop the acid pain. How's that for a happy ending?
Prescription Prevacid actually helps prevent acid where it starts by turning off many of the pumps that produce it. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. Ask your doctor for more information and if Prevacid is right for you. Help prevent the acid with Prevacid.
You take great care getting yourself ready to face the world. But what about your most important feature, your smile? Here's a beauty secret. Crest White Strips. Clinically shown to be the best at-home whitening system. They leave you with a smile so beautiful, everyone will notice, including your toughest critic. You. The secret to a whiter smile is in the strip, guaranteed.
Welcome back as Entertainment Tonight unlocks Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
Michael Jackson's appearance has dramatically changed since he was the child lead singer of the Jackson 5. Early in his solo career, he looked like this. But as the years went by, his nose had a new shape, his eyes appeared to be different, and even his skin color changed. Michael claimed in an interview that his lighter skin was due to a medical condition, but admitted to having had more than one surgery on his nose.
It was once taboo to talk about plastic surgery, but when a star's appearance drastically changes, the secret's out of the bag. Joan Rivers is one star who's fessed up about going under the knife, and it's made her a target.
Grow old gracefully? God gave us plastic surgeons. That should be the 11th commandment. Thou shalt make thyself look good.
At 69, Joan is determined to slow the passage of time, saying the most important thing to remember about aging is to look good, because if you look good, you'll feel good.
Everybody's hysterical about getting older, so I want to explain to everybody, we're all in the same boat and what to do about it.
Joan's main weapon against time, plastic surgery. She underwent the first of numerous procedures at age 34 when she had the bags under her eyes removed.
You couldn't talk about it. And my friends would say, God, you look wonderful. And I would say, I had my eyes done. And they'd go, oh.
Since then, Joan has had regular facelift operations, and the old adage, with age comes wisdom, means little to her.
With aging comes memory loss, so you think you're smart, because you forget how dumb you are. We have to tell the truth about aging. It's not wonderful. Aging sucks. Now, what are we going to do about it?
Last year, the former Queen of Nice, Rosie O'Donnell, made Joan a target, speaking out about her public persona and her plastic surgery.
I thought she was mean for years. She made a career out of being mean. She would kick people when they were down. She would just be so unbearably cruel. I got news for Joan Rivers. She looks pretty ugly herself. And that face is frightening.
Rosie says since she left her show in May of last year, she feels more free to speak her mind. And after seeing Joan on television, she says she was startled by her appearance.
If you want to be in the media, you have to pretend not to notice that she looks like an alien. I'm simply saying, fact is, she looks weird. And I am not willing to pretend I don't see it anymore.
My actual chronological age, I'm 55. I think I probably look in my mid-30s. That's the feedback I get.
Hi, Jade. How are you, darling?
Actress Jade Barrymore, mother of Drew, subscribes to a growing trend called maintenance surgery.
If you have some surgery along the way so that the change is not that drastic, but gradual and a little bit subtle, you get the response of, oh, you look great, and oh, you look so rested, and wow, what did you do?
Jade, seen here with Drew 10 years ago, recently spoke out on A&E's Beauty Under the Knife, admitting to having had a facelift, under-eye lasering, and a procedure to smooth out her jawline.
We look at her and we see her on a 6-month basis to see if there are things that concern her and see if something minimally can be done to keep her at a level that she feels she needs to be at.
I'm happy. It's like Dylan Thomas said, do not go gently into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
It's a very discreet operation we have here. We pick them up immediately following their surgery and very discreetly bring them into our facility here.
Back alleys, underground parking, private entrances, and hidden elevators. ET got a rare look at a secret route that's familiar to many celebrities who've had plastic surgery. Instead of heading home to recover, they come here to Serenity, the up to $750 a night exclusive hideaway that's half hospital, half hotel. There's even a 4-star chef at the patient's beck and call.
If someone wants asparagus at 3 o'clock in the morning, we make it happen for them. I've brought in pizza, I've brought in lobster tail, I've brought in Big Macs, whatever it takes to get the job done.
Of course, security is of the utmost concern to image-conscious clients.
What's funny, sometimes patients will come in, celebrities, and they'll come in under a different name, and we don't even know until they hit the door.
I just want to look pretty and soft.
This is actress Tabitha Stevens before and after her latest surgery. The 33-year-old was hoping for a look that 5 breast operations, 2 nose jobs, cheek implants, and repeated Botox and collagen injections have not provided.
I spent well over $150,000 at least in plastic surgery, maybe close up to 200 in 12 years. I am addicted.
Yeah, those are bad.
Tabitha's addiction led to a crisis. One of her cheek implants was moving into her eye socket, so she asked respected Beverly Hills plastic surgeon Richard Ellenbogen to fix the damage others have done.
It's actually affecting my sight. So when I look down, I really can't see anything. I can see down on this side. I could probably see the floor. I can't even see the floor on this side.
Dr. Ellenbogen will also correct her nose, smile, chin, and inject fat from her thigh into her cheeks.
Filling her in her. She's very going to this area. I want to make her look like the girl who lives next door. I want to give a certain sweetness to her face.
I just can't wait. So I'm excited more than anything.
Though the cost is confidential, such procedures can run nearly $30,000.
You're fatter than you're going to be.
Recovery takes about 2.5 weeks, and Tabitha acknowledges because of her addiction, more surgery will undoubtedly follow.
I will never stop having surgery.
If it's something you want to do, but all need go ahead and do it because it's so much worth it.
Coming up next, the pressure to be perfect.
My special report on Hollywood's obsession with looks.
Plus, the woman who wanted to look like a Barbie doll.
Barbie was the first positive female role model that I can remember.
And from Heather Locklear to Halle Berry, how you can look like your favorite star.
As Entertainment Tonight uncovers more of Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
This Memorial Day, if you're thinking it's time you had an SUV with unsurpassed horsepower in its class, then your timing is perfect. Right now, get a GMC Envoy and get $500 Memorial Day bonus cash. Qualified buyers can take the bonus cash and 0% APR for 60 months, or get $3,000 cash back plus the bonus for a total of $3,500 cash back. Hurry! $500 Memorial Day bonus cash on Envoy ends June 2nd. See the pros at your local GMC dealers.
Paradise Pancakes.
Right, at IHOP.
Introducing Paradise Pancakes. Served with all your favorites from just $3.99, they're delicious stacks of paradise. IHOP, come hungry, leave happy.
1 minute, it's a 7-passenger vehicle. The next, a 146.2 cubic foot cargo carrier. Add a 240 horsepower VTEC engine, and who knows what your next pet project might be. The 2003 Odyssey. You're welcome. From Honda.
Grab the kids who pick up a Dairy Queen family pack. Over an $80 value for just $49. Twins, baseball, and the DQ family pack. Presented by Care 11.
There it is.
He'd better have the answer.
Where is the ultimate crunch?
At Taco John's, my children.
It's crunch time again. There's a new crunchy chicken Caesar salad and a new crunchy chicken Festiva with crunchy chicken and a new romaine lettuce blend.
Crunch, 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 whole lot of crunching. How did he know?
You got me.
Enjoying crunch time?
We were.
Careful, my son.
There's a crunchy chicken burrito and side order, too.
Just announced the Pontiac Memorial Day Performance Event with a special bonus offer on the Grand Am SE Solid Value. Featuring Performance Shift Automatic, aluminum wheels, power windows, locks, mirrors, and more. Turn your Memorial Day bonus into a performance bonus. Now through June 2nd, apply your Memorial Day bonus on the Grand Am SE Solid Value and lease one for around $189 a month. Call for details. The Memorial Day bonus ends June 2nd, so see PontiacExcitementDealers.com.
Take time to remember this Memorial Day.
Welcome back as Entertainment Tonight unlocks Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
Cosmetic surgery is a way of life in Hollywood because many feel the pressure to be perfect. Kaylee Cuoco, one of John Ritter's daughters from the hit ABC series 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, is here on our ET stage as our special correspondent on what it's like to stand in the glare of the Hollywood spotlight. Kaylee?
Thanks, Maria. I'm only 16 years old, but I can understand why many other stars have chosen to change their looks. With the paparazzi trying to catch every flaw and an audience demanding perfection, it's not easy living under the Hollywood microscope.
There is a definite pressure to be perfect. I think it's throughout all the media, through the magazine ads, you know, what's projected on the screen.
The girl here with the best breast implants, you know, is like the big girl on campus. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like our state flower.
Jennifer Grey has not had breast implants, but she feels Hollywood is obsessed with perfection. She became an overnight sensation when she starred in the mega hit Dirty Dancing. Her nose was unique and her look distinctive, but in 1991, Jennifer had plastic surgery to alter her nose. In the before and after pictures, Jennifer's face changed drastically. She told ET in 1999 that following her surgery, some people didn't even recognize her.
I went to a store and I gave my credit card and they said, "Oh, like the actress." And I said, yeah. She said, "Is that weird for you?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, I mean, do a lot of people call you trying to get to her?" I said, yeah, they do.
Gray poked fun at her image change in the sitcom It's Like You Know. She played herself.
She's an actress. She was in Dirty Dancing. She had a nose job. No one recognizes her. She can't get the work that she wants. And those are all things that have happened in my life.
Jennifer Grey is right in that you're often judged on the way you look in Hollywood. And despite more stars opening up about their plastic surgery, many more want to keep their procedures top secret.
They're more likely to talk about their drug addiction or alcoholism than they are about their cosmetic surgery.
Beverly Hills surgeon Dr. Richard Fleming says he has worked on many celebrities and respects their privacy. Even patients he has nipped and tucked have declared their beauty is natural.
I can remember 8 months ago, there was a well-known actress that was on the cover of one of our national magazines talking about her guru, her yoga, her diet, her exercise routine. She forgot to mention that she'd had liposuction approximately 8 months before that.
Actress June Chadwick will admit that Dr. Fleming gave her a facelift. Before, she had some sagging on her face and some wrinkles. Following the surgery, she looked years younger.
It's not like I was trying to shave 10 years off my life. I just wanted to look younger and fresher and not look done, not look pulled, not look like even friends don't know I've had surgery done.
While many hide their procedures, June is proud of how she looks now.
And I don't feel like it has to be this horrible secret. I think that I personally want to share it with people because it's made me feel good.
Jeff Linney came to Dr. Fleming for a hair transplant. Before, his hairline was receding, and after the surgery, he's got a full head of hair that's his own.
And it grows normally, it grows naturally. You know, it's something that I don't even have to think about. People say that I look younger, and if you look at my before and after pictures, I think it definitely rolled back the clock.
We take a banana-shaped piece of skin, we will lift that skin up and move it to the bald area.
While Bruce Willis has simply shaved his head rather than having to deal with the changes his hairline's made over the years, other actors have undergone the procedure to replace their locks.
We have done this hair replacement work on celebrities that we all know.
Model Cindy Jackson has undergone more than 23 surgeries. She wanted to look like a Barbie doll and had herself redone from top to bottom.
I've had 3 facelifts, liposuction, breast implants put in. I've had my upper lip made larger.
Jackson even had a hair transplant to get Barbie's look.
Barbie was the first positive female role model that I can remember. She had her own life. She had no husband. She had no children. I have become Barbie. We're both made of plastic.
While Cindy wanted to look like a doll, Dr. Fleming says he has patients who request the body parts of certain stars.
People will come in, prospective patients, and we don't prompt them. They say they want Nicole Kidman's nose, Gwyneth Paltrow's skin.
Dr. Fleming has compiled a survey from patients of what star body parts they admire most. When it comes to noses, Heather Locklear's is perceived as perfect.
With Heather Locklear, people like the definition, the shape, the refinement. It is a strong nose.
When it comes to lips, Denise Richards has the most requested pair. Halle Berry's cheeks are perceived as ideal. Britney Spears is the hottest body. And Jennifer Lopez's backside is being requested by plastic surgery patients.
J-Lo's derriere, commonly referred to as her booty, is creating an interest in having more shapely buttocks.
As for men, they want Russell Crowe's chin and jaw, Edward Burns' nose, and Will Smith's body. But for eyes, who else but Brad Pitt?
People will come to the door and use Brad Pitt as an example of the ideal eyes.
And who do the doctor's patients think has the best hair in Hollywood? Jennifer Aniston, Deborah Messing, and Julia Roberts. I'll have to agree.
Thanks, Kaylee. Next, from Pamela Anderson to an Oscar nominee, the stars reveal their breast implant nightmares.
I just want my natural body back.
Breast surgery gone wrong.
The pain was terrible.
Whoa, you know, what do I do with these?
Too big, too small. Those candid conversations about going under the knife.
I couldn't play young girls because of the size of my breast.
She took out 2.5 pounds on each breast.
As Entertainment Tonight uncovers more of Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
The Entertainment Tonight weekend birthdays are brought to you by Dawn. Which designing women's star graduated as valedictorian of her Tennessee high school? Was it Annie Potts, Dixie Carter, or Delta Burke? The answer's coming up in the ET Weekend Birthdays. Closed captioning provided by
When these marigolds were potted, they were the same size. The difference? This. Miracle Grow potting mix. Have you used Miracle Grow lately?
Something remarkable is at your fingertips. Now you can dial anyone in America for 3 cents a minute and 39 cents to connect. Not only is it 3 cents anywhere in the U.S., but also to Canada and to Western Europe. Introducing 1010-987. No monthly fees, nothing to sign up for. All you do is dial 1010-987 so you can use it right now. Hey, a rate this low never went so far. 1010-987. Check out the website for other great rates around the world.
When I surprised Ariana at school, we both didn't know what to say. I was like, notice anything? You got contacts. I told her I got AccuView 2 contact lenses, and then after school, she was getting them too.
I don't know. I heard they're itchy, they hurt.
I was telling her.
When I put it on, like, I didn't even feel anything.
These contacts are good. Finally, her mom and I took Ariana to the eye doctor. She was nervous, but before she knew it, they were on.
I can't believe it. It's so comfortable.
How do I look? She looks so good.
Make sure you ask for AccuView 2 contact lenses.
How did we get the natural fiber of Metamucil powder into convenient capsules? Let's just say it wasn't easy. All the benefits of Metamucil in capsules. Get regular, stay regular, the convenient way.
Bottom line is you're gonna have fun in the Walmart home entertainment department. If it's a new game, I've gotta have it. I'd say eat, sleep, games. You can be an action hero, you can be a race car driver, you can do it right here at Walmart. We got all the newest stuff, I'm telling you.
Music is what we all have in common. It keeps you fresh, it keeps you alive.
We got new releases every Tuesday, man, it's there.
That's my dream, to make movies. I always want the greatest, the latest movie.
DVD, VHS, new release movies every Tuesday. We have the latest computer software. Low prices, that's without a doubt.
I like to skate. I don't like to sweat. I use Red Zone because it's the strongest stuff you can get, made just for guys. It absorbs in and helps stop sweat, period. Red Zone from Old Spice.
Welcome back as Entertainment Tonight unlocks Hollywood's plastic surgery secrets.
Breast implants are probably the most secret of procedures in Hollywood, but Mariel Hemingway and Pamela Anderson have admitted to increasing their bust size. Sometimes leaks and scar tissue pose severe health risks and have led to breast implant nightmares.
I thought it was just going to be, and instead it was,
Catherine Hicklin jokes now, but she wasn't laughing in 1986 when the one-time wife of David Hasselhoff awoke to find that surgery gave her far more than the slight breast lift she wanted.
I went to see a doctor and he said that they would be using a very, very small implant to achieve this. I woke up 2 sizes bigger. I went from a 34C to a 36 double D.
The veteran soap opera actress says she never confronted the surgeon and lived with the mistake for 10 years.
The pain was terrible, and the implants were apparently very large, and so I was never comfortable, and I was always in pain.
Finally, after carefully searching for a new cosmetic surgeon, the star of ABC's One Life to Live had her implants removed.
I love, love, love the way I look, and I don't have Franken breasts. It's just me and my perky C's. I'm really happy. The implants came out, and then everything was tightened through the areola, and so any extra skin I may have had is gone. My lift was achieved naturally.
Catherine, a former makeup artist, now makes her own line of cat cosmetics and sells it online and in her New York studio. But her advice is free.
Just learn to love yourself, your body, as it is.
One Hollywood plastic surgeon told ET that he thinks 75% of female celebrities have had work on their breasts. Now many are having their implants removed. Mariel Hemingway got hers at 19, but 15 years later, no longer felt comfortable with them. Toni Braxton had hers taken out after scar tissue developed. Recently, Pamela Anderson looked especially curvy at a Hollywood premiere. But in 1999, she told E.T. she was through with her implants.
Why did you decide to remove the breast implants?
Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time. I mean, I feel like I'm a petite person, and just, you know, having these large breasts was kind of, it just didn't feel right anymore. I really was kind of, I just didn't feel like I looked very good. And I thought, God, I just want my natural body back.
The timing of her decision proved perfect.
When I did remove them, when they found a leak in one side, but that was, when I took them out, I had no idea anything was wrong. I don't know when that happened. But I'm just glad I took them out.
Nicole Eggert, one of Pam's Baywatch co-stars, also had her implants removed. She had breast augmentation because she felt she didn't fill out her bikini.
You're put in this position to just be in this bathing suit every day, all day long. With women like Pamela Anderson and, you know, 100 extras that look just like her, and you're going, oh, whoa, you know, and I just sort of was at that young age. I mean, I was like 20, 21, something like that, and I thought that's what I wanted. And so I went and had it done, and then I was like, whoa, you know, what do I do with these? I can't even move around them, and they just were in my way, and they weren't me, and I had to go. My breast did not explode like a volcano.
Anna Nicole Smith admitted to 6 breast surgeries, and though she denied reports that an implant had burst, did acknowledge to E.T. that she'd sought some medical help.
I'm totally fine. I just had to go in for a little checkup.
Health issues led Oscar nominee Sally Kirkland to have her implants removed. She asked E.T. to cover her surgery.
For me, this left breast, you can see it's very different than the right, started like going upwards towards my chin. I don't know how else to say it. It started being like upside down.
Scar tissue had hardened and silicone had leaked from the implant.
I actually saw my blood, and it was so frightening because I could see these little crystals, these particles, all through my blood system.
Talk show host Jenny Jones also experienced hardening, and after her removal surgery, she spoke out about the perils of silicone implants.
I had 5 different sets of implants, a 6th surgery because I had internal bleeding one time. When I look back, I still can't believe that I did all that for nothing.
Then there are the stars who never underwent augmentation but chose breast reduction. Lonnie Anderson did it twice.
Just a choice you make that you hope that it's less obvious, and you'll be more in proportion and still enjoy being curvy.
Soleil Moonfry, the former Punky Brewster, was only 16 when she opted for reduction surgery.
I was very limited to the roles I could play because I couldn't play young girls because of the size of my breast. It was very hard on me because I had these back problems and because it was just very uncomfortable going down the street and having people look directly at my breasts and not at my face.
I don't think anybody really truly knew, including myself, how big my breasts actually were.
In 2001, Ed co-star Leslie Boone decided it was time to change her life. Her cosmetic surgeon transformed her 38DD to a 38C.
She took out 2.5 pounds on each breast. So in like 5 hours, I dropped 5 pounds.
Another way Comcast digital cable makes life a little cooler.
What the world needs now. What you need now is Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort and Spa, the Bahamas' only 5-star diamond hotel, where a world of incomparable luxury awaits, and it's all included. Warm up to sun-drenched beaches onshore. Escape offshore for exotic adventures on our private island. Discover the world's most pleasurable way to get away. Sandals Royal Bahamian. Call your travel agent or 1-800-SANDALS.
It is written in the scriptures that we should journey to Jerusalem 3 times a year. We are going up to the city of God, to Jerusalem, to celebrate.
The Lord told the children of Israel to honor 7 holy celebrations each year involving 3 journeys to Jerusalem. Each festival would be uniquely fulfilled in the coming of the Messiah. The holy days of our Lord, shadows of things to come.
Lord said to Moses, "Count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall make offerings to the Lord. Bring from your dwellings 2 wave loaves. They shall be of fine flour and baked with leaven. On that same day you are to proclaim a sacred assembly and do no regular work. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come, wherever you live."
We're at the center of the earth. Shalom, hello again. This is where Jesus and his disciples entered the temple. Behind me is a staircase, somewhat restored, but it is authentic. It is where he and his disciples first took their ritual baths. There are mikvaot, or ritual baths, down below, certainly a symbol of baptism. And then they walked up the steps in and out of the Holy Gates whenever they visited the temple. This was the entrance for the poor people and the plain people of the land. And except on the occasion where he rode the donkey down from the Mount of Olives, our Lord used this entrance to the temple. Well, we're here because here is where the Holy Spirit came. This program's about Pentecost, Shavuot, God's power, the Spirit, and the law. I say Shavuot in Hebrew because that means weeks, and it's called the Festival of Weeks many times. That's 7 sevens, and you can see why. In verse 15 it says, "And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord." The Lord is honoring Sunday here. In our last program on first fruits, I discussed how the rabbis got rid of first fruits somewhere along the line because it was so symbolic of the resurrection. It must have caused a lot of conversions to the faith in the Messiah, and so they omitted it. It hardly appears anymore in the Jewish calendar. And when they did that, though, as I just read, you have to start counting from that day. They got the counting wrong. They started from the second day of the Passover festival, and they count to any day of the week that's 50 days after that. But it wouldn't be correct, because as I read, Pentecost has to be on the morrow after the Sabbath, or on Sunday. Anyhow, there's a lot to this holiday that they have kind of caked onto it, but I like the idea of the Spirit. You know, in Christianity, a similar thing has happened. They didn't like the idea of the Holy Spirit coming to the Jewish temple, so they have always taught that it came to the upper room. Well, that's crazy. You can't put 3,000 people in the upper room. We take our tours there all the time. It simply won't hold that amount of folks. For one thing, there's another theory that the 120 were there and that they received the Holy Spirit while walking down Mount Zion toward the temple site. It just doesn't work. It says in Acts 2, a mighty roaring wind filled the house where they were sitting. House in Judaism parlance, the bayit for the word house is the temple, the house of God. The Lord said in Matthew 23:39, "Your house is left unto you desolate," and they understood that he meant the temple. No, of course the Holy Spirit came here. Don't try to make it less Jewish. This is going on everywhere. Our seminaries would love it. But it was in Solomon's portico, which ran the whole length of that southern wall you see behind me, and more than you can see, way over past this Turkish wall that's sticking straight out, all the way to the parapet of the corner of the western side. There was an area of pillars where people met other folks at the feast who came down from the north, or perhaps Jesus met Lazarus from Bethany over the hill here at that place. But anyhow, that is where they got together. That is where the 3,000 were saved. That's where Peter preached the sermon. That's where the Holy Spirit came. Now, I said the Spirit and the law because the rabbis have said that Pentecost was the time that the law was given at Sinai. It's possible. It means that after Passover, they journeyed the 7 weeks or so and then came to Sinai. I'm not so sure, but anyway, it's not scriptural. It's just something they've put on that holiday, and I think because it's a festival of harvest, really. It's the barley and wheat harvest of the spring, when they come out of the agrarian society and they have become less farmers and more tradesmen and so forth. The harvest didn't make as much sense, so they seem to change it to something else. Anyway, there's no tradition of the law. There's a tradition, but there's no scriptural support for the law being given at Shavuot. The Greek word Pentecost stands for Shavuot, the 7 weeks in Hebrew. And it is the harvest that they depended on once they got to the land. So it was 41 years after this announcement, 40 years wandering and another year to harvest, until they really could celebrate this. The tradition in Judaism is it takes 7 weeks between Passover and Pentecost to complete the wheat harvest. The modern Jews read the scroll of Ruth, who slept in the fields of Boaz, quite near here, just off to my right at Bethlehem. The harvest time is the counting of the Omer from, as I said, from first fruits to Pentecost, but they have it wrong. They count from second day of Passover. And they do a time of mourning. They stay up all night because the Jews, they say, fell asleep out there in the wilderness when Moses came down with the law, and he had to wake them up and this sort of thing. All of that is what they call in Yiddish Bubemeise tales. They're grandmother's stories. They're things that are made up to give the holiday a little bit of hype. By the way, we're in the middle of busy Jerusalem, tourist buses going, pilgrims coming, and we just have to do what we can do amongst all of that. This city has never stopped, not since the day that David took it. But anyhow, this time of mourning is, they have a mourning during that 7 weeks, and then they stay up all night to read the scriptures to make up for the Jews that slept, they say. They eat dairy foods and not meats because it's easier to stay awake on dairy food rather than meat. All of this, I'm saying, is Jewish tradition. None of it is scriptural, but since we're here to say what they do, that's what they do. It's the confirmation of children is also done at Pentecost. I was confirmed in the Sunday school. By the way, every now and then somebody writes in and says, do you have any right to speak about Judah? Usually a Jewish person. And time and again I repeat that I was 7 years in Hebrew school, 10 years in Sunday school, bar mitzvah and confirmed, sang in the synagogue choir, became the conductor of the choir, and so on. So yes, I had a complete Jewish education, and I know these things, and I know they're going on. But when I came to Messiah, I began to read the scriptures, and I found that some of the things they're doing just aren't right. And so I draw those distinctions for you every time. Back after this.
To the land of Zion, next year in Jerusalem, the Shana Haba'ah Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. O hear, O Israel, hear. O Lord, thy kingdom come, thy will be done next year. The Shana Haba'ah Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem.
Above the southern wall of the temple, over on the other side, was Solomon's portico, a long succession of pillars, a shaded area where people met, and that is where I believe the Holy Spirit came. Not to the upper room, but here to the Jewish temple. No point trying to move the Spirit away from the Jews. The Holy Spirit's still saving Jews every day, and this church, you know, I've often said that Americans don't see that many Jews in the church, but I did a statistical study. Jewish adults occur only 1 in every 200 people in America, and as I have traveled to churches for nearly 30 years, I can tell you that 1 of every 200 people in any group of churches is Jewish. They are equally saved, Jews and Gentiles. They are absolutely, God has, it's not a small remnant, it's simply a per capita statistic. There are as many Jews per capita saved as Gentiles in the Christian church. And that makes sense, because if I look back in Leviticus 23, I see a fascinating verse involved with Pentecost, which is about the 2 wave loaves. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. That's the weight. 2 equal wave loaves. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven. They are first fruits unto the Lord. Well, we could read that code very easily. Talk about a Bible code. This is an easy one. Things baked with leaven are sinful. So these 2 loaves couldn't be, say, Christ and the Spirit. They are sinless. These are ordinary men, sinful men, baked with leaven. But it says they're first fruits unto the Lord. So they are resurrected men, the first fruits of them who rise. In other words, these are Christians. And how is the Christian church divided in 2 equal parts? I just said it. Half is Jewish, that is per capita, and half is Gentile. These 2 loaves are of equal weight. 2 is an important number throughout the Bible. There are 2 witnesses. It takes 2 to establish a truth in a Jewish court. The law hangs on 2 commandments, doesn't it? There are only 2 positions with God. You're saved or you're lost, and there's nothing in between. In any case, this is a festival of harvest, and Jesus used that image time and again. In John 12:23 to 25, for example, he talks in terms of harvest and his own ministry. Jesus answered them, saying, "The hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it into life eternal. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor." Wow. It's a beautiful, beautiful sentiment which he gave in terms of a harvest. He came for a harvest, right? And on first fruits, as we pointed out in the program last week, he did a little harvest of his own. Graves opened and the people were walking about in Jerusalem. Well, that was his offering. The day was the Sunday after Passover. First fruits among the 7 feasts. Now, the Jews gathered here at the portico in Acts 2. You all know the story, of course. They gathered to do the Feast of Pentecost, and the disciples could easily come in here, even though they were at that point sort of wanted men. They could come in a crowd of hundreds of thousands, even millions, to the temple site as like gigantic Super Bowl crowds moving back and forth. And they were in there. And they found the Spirit. They were the beginning. When the church was born, they were in effect the first members of the church. You know, the first mission of the church is evangelism, and they were the first evangelists. Let's look at the passage in Acts 2. It says, "When the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place, and suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting." You know, the Pentecost painting in Dallas at the Biblical Arts Center, this magnificent 124-foot long oil painting of the miracle at Pentecost. I wrote the book with the artist in the early 70s when he painted the thing. Asked him why he painted it there at the portico, and he said, that's where it happened. He asked even the rabbis, and he asked Christian scholars. The upper room really won't wash other than in a local church. He must have come here to the temple, where Jesus came, where Abraham came to sacrifice Isaac, the place the Father chose in Genesis 22:2. "Don't sacrifice in any place thou seest, but only in the mountain I will tell thee of." Well, so here we are at Pentecost, and it says there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat on each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And they were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. I want to make that point. I once heard a preacher say the Gentile never had a chance until Pentecost. But the Gentile didn't have much of a chance at Pentecost either. Who would be at the temple on a Jewish holiday but Jews? And it's obvious when it says there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews out of every nation under heaven. And then it says, "Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language." It should be stressed that the tongues they were speaking were not nonsense languages. They were Greek and Latin and Macedonian and Egyptian and Libyan, and 16 countries are named here where it enumerates where they came from, and those are the languages they spoke. And of course, they didn't even need an interpreter because their listener heard it, it says, in his own language. So these Galileans preached the gospel. The Pentecostal power is evangelism, not miracles. Often Pentecost is referred to as the place where tongues began, and it is. But what really began is the Great Commission, the witnessing, the learning the languages of the people of the world and going to them and telling them in their own language that they can understand the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's going on everywhere. That is the whole idea of missions, you know. Well, Acts 1:8 says, "You shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria." That much we might have expected. I mean, the Lord, when he first came, said to the disciples, "Go not into the cities of the Samaritans or the Gentiles, because I've only come to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Well, he says witnesses to Jerusalem and Judea, that we expect. But then he says Samaria. They must have said, well, that's a change. And then he said, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. Boy, if we take the gospel out there to the uttermost part of the earth, my goodness, that's a difference. But he quoted Joel, and whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord will be saved in Joel 2:32. My goodness, I heard it said, you know, what about the souls in the Holocaust? Well, I think when you're going into a gas chamber, you do call on the name of the Lord. I don't know. You know, I have to contrast it with the scripture says, no name under heaven but Jesus, by which men are saved. But when we go out into the world, when we teach people the gospel, it's clear they know what name to call on. They don't have to depend on simply saying, oh, God, help me. They say, Lord Jesus, forgive me. And that is salvation for sure. I don't know about the other case, but that is salvation for sure. Every Christian is to be a soul winner, not a committee member, if you know what I'm saying, but a soul winner, a faithful witness. God in the tribulation will call on 144,000 of the 12 tribes of Israel, and he will send them into the world. That is a splendid example of what God does when it's up to him. He calls out witnesses, and he calls out Jewish witnesses, by gosh, to go to the whole world. So Shavuot, what does it mean, Pentecost? It means revival. That is most intensively what it means. We're to go to the world, we're to learn their languages, we're to speak to them about the gospel, and we're to get them saved. Well, this festival basically, of course, is a harvest festival, and a harvest is about souls. That is the real business of the real church. Let's face it. There are plenty of churches that aren't witnessing, but those are the ones in Revelation 2 that the Lord will take away the candlestick. But there are real believers in every community, and there's a remnant of Jews and a remnant of Gentiles out there to be found in every generation. There was a remnant in Paul's time. There's a remnant now. I say a remnant of Gentiles. Yes, of the Gentiles of the world, only a very small percentage, I think probably about the same percentage, are Christians, as with the Jewish community of the world. In any case, in Israel, they're coming around. People are being saved. Our producer, Ken Berg, talked with a very interesting man, a fourth-generation Sabra. A Sabra is a native-born Israelite. In other words, a lot of people, of course, emigrate to Israel, but this fellow is born there, of the fourth generation who were born there. And he was the former bodyguard to the prime minister. Very interesting man.
As I am fourth-generation Jewish Sabra in Israel, the story has to be big, but I will make it short. A son of a traditional family that left the face of his family when he was 13 years old because he couldn't see God in front of him. After 20 years, somebody was telling me about Jesus. I said, even though that I am not believing God, I don't want to hear the name of Jesus because I'm a Jew. But the Lord wanted something else, and I still heard about Jesus. And I was willing to read the New Testament as a history book. When I saw in the New Testament and also in the Bible the truth about Jesus, it's like a shock to me. It was a shock to me. And I wanted to go to open the eyes of my people, my friends, and show them the truth that they are so blind because of the tradition.
It's a difficult decision, isn't it, to become a believer?
Yes, because you know that the family will come against you, especially if you come from a traditional family. They try to push you out of the family, but you know that you have a new family. You have big father, that he will take care of you, and your earthly family will want to see you, and in the end you can share with them
There are those who would say that you're either a Jew or you're a Christian. You can't be both. What would you say to those people?
I said to them, I don't care what you call me. You can call me a Buddhist. You can call me Christian. You can call me no Jew. First, nobody can take the Jewishness from me. I born into the Jewishness. But if you know that I believe in Jesus, I don't care how you will call me. Anyone can believe in Jesus, Jew or Gentile. So nobody can come and break those words because Jesus is for everybody. I believe that who believe in my Messiah is a real Jew, is a complete Jew, perfect Jew.
We're studying in this series that we're producing right now, the feasts of the Lord mentioned in Leviticus 23. Yeah. Do you think that they still have relevance to us today?
Of course. You see, if you know the feast of Passover, Pesach, is the story of our liberation from bondage. I know, everybody has to know that the people still under bondage to their sins, and they need this liberation from the bondage, and only if they will look on Yeshua, Jesus, they will break the bondage. So we have the mission to go and show it to them.
We were talking before, and you mentioned those three words which had so much meaning to you. I'll be back.
It's connected to Passover very, very much. There is one item on the Seder plate called the afikoman. Afikoman is not a Hebrew word, it's a Greek word, coming from the word afikomanos. When I heard a few years ago the meaning of that word. It's a very precious brother that spoke about it, and he said that the meaning is, I will be back. And as I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I love his words, I will be back, I understood everything about Passover because of three words. I'll be back.
This is a festival, you know, that different people of different times looked at differently. The ancient Jews, reading from the Bible from Leviticus 23, had it as a festival of harvest. And of course, they were very agrarian. They brought in their crops in the fall. It made sense as a harvest festival. But then the modern Jews, as we saw, call it the day the law came from Mount Sinai. No scriptural sanction for that, but it's a tradition, and so they start celebrating the Torah, and I think it's something secular that made that change, because they are not agrarian in general anymore. Some are, but very few, and so it didn't seem to make sense to have a harvest festival. Of course, it changed in the first century. Harvest was a harvest of souls, but that was lost on those that didn't believe, and so they went on and got up a new tradition to keep an old holiday. And finally, the Christian people since the first century and of today see Shavuot, or the Harvest Festival, the Festival of Weeks, as Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit came, when the church was born. It was born that day, when missions began. Missions didn't start other than the Lord going into maybe Samaria, you could say, the occasional Gentile that approached him. Everybody was a Jewish Israeli who was in the church, other than those I mentioned, and missions to foreign countries weren't even thought of course. But then when the Lord stood on the Mount of Olives ready to come down the mountain in John 12, and Andrew comes to him and says, the two Greek fellows are waiting outside to see you. He says, my hour is come. It seemed like a signal that it's time now to, since we're going to foreign nations, or since foreign people are coming and wanting to hear the gospel, wanting to see Jesus, then it's time we give it to the apostles and let them take it so they can see him. And that signaled Jesus, I think, that that was the end of his real ministry in Israel. Well, you know, when Peter preached the sermon there at Pentecost, at the birthday of the church, it was very effective. 3,000 saved. As we pointed out, they spoke the languages of the crowd. They listened, and then Peter triumphantly at the end, in Acts 2:37, it says, now when they heard this, that's the sermon from the prophet Joel and about David sitting at the right hand of God and so on, they were pricked in their heart and said unto Peter and the rest of the apostles, men and brethren, what shall we do? Boy, when you've witnessed perfectly, that's what they say. What do I do? Those 3,000, of course, were saved, and 5,000 later, in Acts 4, the church had 8,000 Jewish members at that time. And, you know, there's the 3,000 that died. Well, when the law came, the 3,000 were killed that made the golden calf. The letter kills, the Spirit gives life. Let's witness. Let's take a lesson from the Festival of Pentecost. Our offer on this program is my book, The Spirit of Pentecost, which explains Peter's sermon and all the implications thereof. And go ahead and read this. This is well worth knowing. After all, you're a church member. It's your birthday, so to speak. Remember the gifts of funds, please. Send for our Levitt letter, our catalog. They're free. And Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Have you ever wanted to develop your artistic abilities? If so, you may already have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To find out, simply call toll-free, and Art Instruction Schools will send you this enjoyable art test. Since 1914, we've helped thousands of aspiring artists become more skilled, more confident, and more creative in their art. Call today for your free art test. We'll help you become a better artist. Call 1-800-256-2888.
Hi, I'm Dick Enrico. Golf season will be here soon, and Second Wind Swing in the Shape will get you fit and ready. Get a complete set of clubs, 3 titanium woods, 8 graphite shaft irons, and even the bag. An $800 retail value, absolutely free with any qualifying purchase. If your goal is to cut a few strokes or prevent one, Second Wind Swing in the Shape is the answer. We have the right gear: treadmills, home gyms, bikes, climbers, and the hot new cross trainers.
That means you get all this, a huge value, for only $19.99. So treat your wood to the power and protection of Orange Glow. Here's how to order.
Call now to get this amazing TV offer of your Orange Glow products. That's 2 32-ounce bottles of Orange Glow, 2 canisters of the Orange Glow polishing cloth, the 1.5-pound tub of OxyClean, and the cleaning bucket, all for $19.99. Call toll-free 1-888-790-8082. That's 1-888-790-8082.
News doesn't stop for the weekend, and neither do we. CNN brings you the story live, anywhere news happens. Real reporting from home,
CNN Washington,
or a world away.
CNN Baghdad.
As the largest team of correspondents on Earth bring you the big picture, trust CNN to take you there live for the best coverage from around the world. Every weekend, day or night, stay with CNN and see what happens next.
From TNT, they made him their assassin.
If nature selects you to be a cold-blooded killer, then that is what you are.
But he has no memory.
I don't know who I can trust. Paul Kane killed 3 people in Amsterdam.
Now the only people who know who he is...
Something must have gone wrong.
...want him dead. Alec Baldwin.
What did they tell you?
Second Nature. See the world premiere Sunday, June 22nd at 8. Only on TNT. We know drama.
All day Monday, CNN brings you a special look at our day of remembrance. From the ceremonies to the events, CNN takes you there live around the country. Don't miss our Memorial Day coverage. CNN All Day Monday.
Tonight, Mattie Stepanek, best-selling author, peacemaker, and now songwriter. But in the shadows of his success, his struggle against a life-threatening disease continues. Can hope and prayer overcome enormous odds? And then Billy Gilman. He's put Mattie's heart songs to music. Tonight, you'll hear the inspirational results. Mattie and Billy, two amazing young men, a remarkable hour next on Larry King Weekend. Thanks for joining us. Mattie Stepanek's one of our favorite people, and after tonight, I think you'll see why. He's been through some tough times lately, and we want to bring you up to date on his condition. Mattie suffers from a rare form of muscular dystrophy. The day after the February interview you're about to see, Mattie went into the hospital. Simply put, his trachea is eroding. The hope was that through various treatments, conventional and experimental, it could be fixed, but so far, no luck. Mattie and his mom, Jenny, felt there was nothing more the hospital could do. He went home on Wednesday. He's still receiving treatment and still spreading his message of hope and peace. Now that we brought you up to date, here's a man of many talents, my little man, Mattie J.T. Stepanek. What's the weather like? Give us a weather report, Mattie.
Well, we had, as I would phrase it on weather, we had a bunch of big blue things come in and give us a huge snowstorm. So we're big time snowed in.
Big time. And where did you get those braces?
Braces?
Or suspenders?
Suspenders. Actually, we didn't have any at our hotel. And it's a tradition I wear suspenders every time I'm with you. So someone borrowed them from you. And so I've got real Larry King suspenders on.
You look great, Mattie. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, but I still have blood coming out of my trachea, and that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to go back into the hospital tomorrow morning.
And what are they doing there? Explain that a little.
At the hospital, basically what's going to happen is they really just need to find out what's wrong. And I'm going to be on their ventilator because on my home ventilator, it's really tough to keep me at that perfect level of oxygen. But at the hospital, they can do it just right now, a little too high or a little too low. So we're gonna sit on their vent and pray that everything heals.
Well, we'll all be praying with you, Mattie. First, congratulations. There's going to be an album, a CD of Mattie Stepanek's poems put to music by Bruce Roberts, my friend and producer, and sung by Billy Gilman. How do you feel about that?
I am very excited. On Saturday, before and during the Heart Song Gala, I got to spend time with Billy Gilman, and he and I had so much fun talking and listening to some of his music. It's really beautiful music, and I can't wait for it to officially come out. I'm really excited about this.
And Bruce tells me that your words fit perfectly to music. Did you have any idea that you were also a songwriter?
I had no clue because when we first started thinking about the idea of music, I was a little bit nervous because sometimes when people put poetry to music, sometimes it changes the message a little bit. But this is an incredible, incredible project, and I'm very excited about it.
Mattie Stepanek, by the way, if you don't know it, we should have maybe said this at the beginning, has a rare form of muscular dystrophy called mitochondrial myopathy. It's sometimes called dysautonomia. It means his body, his automatic systems don't work, like breathing and heart rate and digestion. They don't work on their own. They need help. He is, by the way, the poster boy for the he's National Goodwill Ambassador for the year 2003 for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. All of his siblings have passed away. Do you fear dying, Mattie?
I do fear death, but what I actually fear is not dying. I mean, true, it will be sad, but I know that there's a better place waiting for me. I'm actually more afraid of the pain of dying. Like, if I'm going to die, like, I'll suffocate. Am I gonna just by pure chance die in a car accident? Or will it be just I can't survive and they need to let me go? I actually fear more how I'm dying, not when I'm dying. But I don't want to die anytime soon. Got a lot to do while I'm here, and I hope I can do it.
You bet. And you do believe that you will go on to some place?
Yes. Someplace bigger and better than the here and now.
All right, Loving Through Heart Songs, your newest book, the foreword by, you must be quite proud to have Maya Angelou write the foreword for you.
That was very exciting. It's a wonderful foreword, and that was just really, really cool when we heard that Maya Angelou was indeed doing the foreword.
Do you write poems every day?
Yeah, well, almost every day. How my mom describes it is I'm like a volcano. I either do nothing thinking about when I'm going to do it, or I just spurt out everything.
Boy, you're an incredible kid. We're going to be reading some of these poems, as you know, Mattie. The poems Loving Through Heart Songs. I want to touch some other bases with you. You're in hospitals a lot.
Yes.
What don't you like about them?
The hospital, it's very, first of all, it's scary just to hear anyone say, sorry, we have to go to the hospital. You have to go to the hospital. It's very scary emotionally. And sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on what's going on with your body or if they have to do anything. And I'm asked sometimes, do you get scared in the hospital? Yes, I'm human. I get scared, I get angry. Sometimes I'll just say, why bother? Okay, why bother? And then I'll just start say, I am so sorry. Why did I just do that? I need to stay positive because I am going to get out of the hospital. I'm going to stay out for a while. But at the hospital, one thing that really helps make it a great experience is the doctors and nurses at Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C. They are just such wonderful people. They're like family. I mean, they talk to you. They have fun with you. They laugh at your practical jokes. Everything.
Are you, Mattie, are you having trouble breathing right now? What is that sound I'm hearing?
That sound is probably me breathing and my vent breathing as well.
Are you having trouble breathing now?
No, not right now.
When you get trouble, is it hard for you to speak?
Lately, when I do have trouble breathing, I start sucking for air, and then I realize, okay, I can't breathe right now, and then I just stop talking and just sit there doing nothing, taking deep breaths.
Do you panic?
Sometimes I panic. The first time when I left and the blood started coming out, because the doctors and nurses said he's gonna have 3 days to 3 weeks, most probably, until the bleeding starts up again. And it happened 7 hours later. I just started coughing up the blood, and I panicked then. So I'm like, oh no, I can't. I'm not doing this. This is we're going home, and we did. We are having a wonderful time being snowed in at the Mayflower with our friends, the Hemmelgarns. But still, when I'm having trouble breathing, I do panic. But now I'm when I'm out of the hospital, I know don't panic unless there's really something to panic about. Like I literally cough up a lung or something.
Yeah. Our guest is Mattie Stepanek. We'll take a break and come back, and we will for the first time. We've had Mattie on, I guess, 2 or 3 times, but we usually had not taken phone calls. We will take phone calls for Mattie Stepanek tonight, and we'll be doing it fairly shortly. His new book is Loving Through Heart Songs, and when that album comes out, we'll let you know where you can get it. His next book will be a book of essays. He's going to talk to world leaders. A lot of the arrangements being made by former President Jimmy Carter, one of his heroes. We'll be right back.
Mattie's a challenging patient because most ICU patients are so sick that we need to make sure they're not aware of their environment. We give them medicines to keep them calm and quiet and pain-free. And now we have this kid who's equally as sick, but talking to us, joking with us. So it does present a difference of therapeutic options that we have with Mattie. And we're also dealing with an adolescent male. So that has its own challenges.
Who else? And who else? Who's over there?
You know, medicine is not an exact science. It's part art, it's part science, and the patient is a willing player in the whole healing process. And Mattie is just a determined, positive child. He's just a special guy. He's a special guy. He's a normal kid with a very bad illness. He's a normal kid.
Be good. And don't watch the movies too many times, okay?
God of wonders beyond our galaxy. Experience the passion.
You are home.
Experience the power.
Now is the time to worship.
It's the new sound of worship.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Won't you open the eyes of my heart?
Presenting Worship Together, the best of modern worship. Get Worship Together on 2 CDs or cassettes for just $19.99.
I'm coming back to the heart of worship.
But wait, call with your credit card and we'll cut the price in half. That's right, you get 2 albums for just $9.99.
I can only imagine when that day comes.
Millions have experienced these powerful songs. Then audition other Worship Together albums. Satisfaction guaranteed. So call now and get 2 powerful albums for just $9.99.
Use your credit card and call 1-800-410-7733 to order Worship Together on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes for just $9.99 plus shipping and handling. Or send $19.99 plus shipping and handling to Worship Together, Department 1, Richmond, Virginia 23280, or order online at timelife.com.
Monday on CNN Early Prime at 5, spend 24 hours in the life of the U.S. military, what it takes to be an American hero. At 6, Exporting America, what's being done to keep American jobs in the U.S. And at 7, she symbolizes American might, a rare look inside a ship transformed for battle. CNN presents Carrier at War. Wolf Blitzer reports, Lou Dobbs Moneyline. CNN presents. It's all part of CNN Early Prime Monday.
I love your books. I love
Thank you.
So you ready for tonight?
Yes.
All right. It's gonna be a big night.
Hey, Billy, what's up? Good.
What's with the dimples?
Did you just put lipstick on my cheek?
All right.
How are you?
Good to see you.
You look
You- so you-
great.
you
the
do.
tie, the
Like-
tie matches.
Yeah, for once.
Even. Mommy, where's Billy sitting? Be like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day saying, one of these big blue things and one of these big white things and green things is going to be coming at us from the north.
That's my man, Mattie Stepanek. I said he was at the Mayflower. In fact, he's at the ABC studios right next to the Mayflower. We had a truck breakdown, and ABC was kind enough to lend us their facilities, for which we thank them. Even though we didn't partner with them, we can certainly thank them, and they've made it possible for Mattie to be with us. Mattie's new book, as we said, is Loving Through Heart Songs, the foreword by Maya Angelou. I always call her Mayor Angelou, and she likes being called Mayor. By the way, here's one of the poems from the book. We'll be going to your calls in a little while. Making Wishes. The best time to make a wish is when you throw a penny in the fountain. The best time to make a wish is when you see the first star. The best time to make a wish is when you blow out the candles on your cake. And the very best time to make a wish is when you have a special prayer in your heart. Do your poems just come to you?
Usually yes. I just think of, and I'm like, boom, Mom, quick, write this down so I don't forget it. Or if I see something or hear something that's like, wow, I need to think on that. Usually, yes.
You help us think about a lot of things, and most people are thinking now about war with Iraq and about security at home and our own defenses. What's that?
Oh, that's just my ventilator beeping. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. No, we're interested in everything that happens to you, Mattie. Your ventilator beeps.
I really don't know why that happened. Sometimes when it sits or it hasn't beeped at me in a while, I'll just beep 6 or 8 times to say, hey, I'm still awake back here.
Are you worried about war?
As a child, I am very scared that the decision will be to go to war with Iraq. War is wrong. I mean, it will destroy so many innocent lives. And, you know, if we spent as much time generating this, as much as we do advocating war, into advocating peace instead of war, the world would be such a better place. Because, I mean, people are just saying, war, war, war. If we instead said peace, and, you know, and war has changed. We've gone from battlefields to backyards, and we've gone from arrows to anthrax. It's really, really sad the way the world is today, especially with so many people saying they want to go to war. Why? What does war justify? What does war answer?
But what do you do about bad people?
You pray and you talk to them. Wars should be fought with words, not bombs, not weapons, and calm wars. I think that war should be fought over a chessboard and a cup of something to drink. I mean, I really think if we just sat there talking about why we should choose peace instead of why we should go to war, or why war would be good for our country, you know, it would really work out.
Do you fear terrorists and strikes and, hey, we had to hit our own backyard?
I am so scared of that. I mean, we had this night where we had the World Trade Center, we had even terrorist attacks in Washington, D.C. Where next? And why? Why next? Why does there have to be a next?
You got any answers for the why?
There shouldn't be. You know, why next? Why should there be a war next? There really is no answer to that. The answer is in our actions, our words, what we choose to do. If we choose to do the wrong thing and just say, we have a big bomb, let's drop it, that would do nothing. And it would hurt so many people. You know?
Yeah. Mattie, we'll be right back with you, and we'll start to include your phone calls. Here's another Mattie poem called Future for Life. War and hatred, conflict and struggle, pain and strife between countries, between groups, within groups, between individuals, within individuals, never past, always present. Is there a future? We know, but we do not understand. We realize, but we do not learn from lessons. We have wisdom, but we do not work with universal effort to change what was, what is, what cannot continue to be. If we hope for peace, for harmony, for a future, for life. As we go to break, here's Mattie enjoying one of his respots, a video game.
Can I try to find the Star Wars game? Woo! Now's the fun part. Come on, hold on. Michael, I'm going to...
While other mortgage companies are still filling out the paperwork, Ditech.com is busy processing your loan.
Hi, I'm Kyle Bush, driver of the number 87 Ditech.com Chevrolet. Check this out.
Right now, you're invited to take advantage of Ditech's low fixed rates to refinance or cash out equity. Just call Ditech.com at 1-800-DITECH-1.
Ditech.com. Speed guaranteed.
Just call Ditech.com at 1-800-DITECH-1.
Introducing New America Online 8.0. With hundreds of new features, there's never been a better time to try it.
You've got mail.
With 8.0, I can customize my email.
AOL's new parental controls I can set up for each one of my children.
Now AOL searches are faster than ever with Google.
The customer service is free and it's 24 hours a day.
Call now and get 1,025 free hours for 45 days. There's no commitment and you don't even need a credit card.
America Online has so much more.
New AOL 8.0 with hundreds of new features. There's never been a better time to try it.
CNN Monday, a day of remembrance, a day for heroes. CNN salutes the men and women of America's armed forces. A look back at the day's events and the national effort to keep your holiday safe. Remembering America's heroes. CNN Monday, 8 Eastern. CNN Monday, Carol Channing's married her forbidden first love 70 years after her mom said no. On Larry King Live, CNN Monday, 9 Eastern.
Honey, are you there? I'm really sorry. Please pick up. Sweetie, it was an honest mistake, really. I feel awful. I love you. Pick up. Look, baby, I'll buy you another stupid cat, all right? I mean, the thing was old anyway.
With so many movies, there's always one that fits your attitude. Comcast Digital Cable. Your life connected.
I really don't know what to do. I mean, hot flashes, night sweats. I just feel awful.
Take one caplet of all-natural NuPhase every day. NuPhase has more of the plant estrogens clinically shown to reduce hot flashes and night sweats. NuPhase. Get more out of life.
Cholesterol concerns me, so this got my attention.
Clinical studies have shown that garlic can help maintain normal cholesterol levels, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. Take one tablet of Garlic per day, or up to 6 of some other brands. Garlic, cholesterol's natural enemy.
CNN, the most trusted name in news.
If they would find a cure when I'm alive, I could live each day without painting machines, and I could celebrate the biggest thank you of life ever. I could, if they would. Oh, I could, if they would.
Heart Songs of Mattie Stepanek. He's still homeschooled, studying this year British literature, Algebra 2, Biology, Speech, Spanish 2, World History, Composition, and SAT vocabulary. He once said that a specialist told him that he is hanging on the edge of a cliff with one foot hanging over and the other foot on a banana peel. But he keeps coming on. Let's go to some calls for Mattie Stepanek. We haven't done this before. It's your chance to talk to an extraordinary human being. Chester, Pennsylvania. Hello.
Hi, Larry. Hi, Mattie. Mattie, I'm 22, and I also have a mitochondrial disease, and I'm one of 8 kids, and all of us have it. And I was wondering if I had 2 questions for you. One is if you're involved in the United Mitochondrial Disease Foundation, And my second question for you is, I know frequently it's hard to find sort of friends socially and whatnot who understand what it's like to have such an extreme illness. And I was wondering if you openly talk to or have any other friends that you've made with mitochondrial disease.
Thank you. Two good questions.
Well, the answer to the first question, I am really largely involved with the Muscular Dystrophy Association, and but I think that's really the big charity that I do. And the answer to your second question, have I made any other friends with muscular dystrophy? Was that
No,
it?
friends with it.
Actually, yes. You know, both kids and adults. Every year, once a year, in Maryland, I go for a week in overnight camp with about 50 to 60 kids with muscular dystrophy, all ages 7 to 21. And it's really fun. Got some great friends there and wonderful counselors. I enjoyed having Devin Dressman as my counselor last year. Can't wait to see him again. And it's a lot of fun. And yes, I do have other friends with all kinds of muscular dystrophy.
Toronto, Canada, from Mattie Stepanek. Hello.
Hi, Mattie. I just want to say I think you're an amazing kid. I myself, I'm dying of cancer, and sometimes the days seem darker than other days. How do you stay so positive?
You know, I agree with you on that. Sometimes when you're sitting in the hospital, or even at home and you're having a hard time breathing, minutes, seconds seem to drag on like hours. And, you know, it's really tough to stay positive. I mean, sometimes, like I said earlier in the show, sometimes I say, why me? And sometimes I even say, why am I even doing this? But, you know, it's important not to give up. You know, if you give up, you're basically, there's nothing to live for, or at least that's the way you're seeing it. Sure, I mean, you can crawl into the corner and say, I give up on this. Or you can go out and say, I don't care if I have 1 hour or 1 millennia to live, I'm going to live it to the fullest. I'm going to celebrate before, during, and after storms with all my friends. And I just stay positive by praying and thinking and talking with friends and family, especially my mom. She's a big support.
We'll take a break and be back with more phone calls from Mattie Stepanek. Don't go away.
We all have a song in our heart that inspires us in good times and hard times. If we take the time to listen, it matters. It matters. Oh, it matters that the world knows.
Hi, Pat Murphy-Stark for the Invention Channel. We're all a lot more health conscious today, especially about our blood pressure. I'm here with a valuable new product, the Wrist-Tech Blood Pressure Monitor. It's easy to use and reasonably priced. At the push of a button, it displays the systolic and diastolic blood pressure and your pulse rate. Here's how it works.
Ordinary blood pressure monitors are bulky and hard to use. The Wrist-Tech easily attaches to your wrist. All you do is press the green button and it does the rest. In less than a minute, the large, easy-to-read numbers tell you your systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure, and pulse rate. It even has a built-in digital date and clock. Now, here's the best part. There's no need to chart your results. The Wrist-Tech has an automatic memory. It can recall the last readings and even tell you the date and time those blood pressures were taken.
Now, listen to what these healthcare professionals have to say.
I've sold a lot of blood pressure devices, some for well over $100. I'm amazed at the quality and the low price.
It's important to have your doctor check your blood pressure, and it's just as important to check it at home during various times of the day.
Wrist-Tech is easy to use, and that means our patients will actually use it. I even bought one for my parents.
Order your Wrist-Tech blood pressure monitor for just $39.99. And we'll include this free protective case. It comes with the Invention Channel's money-back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied, return it for a full refund. The Wrist-Tech is compact and lightweight.
I take it everywhere.
I love the easy-to-read numbers.
Call the Invention Channel now and get your own Wrist-Tech blood pressure monitor for just $39.99.
Call 1-800-998-8605 to order your Wrist-Tech for only $39.99 plus shipping. Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-998-8605 or send a check or money order to the address listed. So call 1-800-998-8605 and order your Wrist-Tech today.
CNN salutes Terror on Tape, Nick Robertson's Peabody Award-winning series. Powerful reporting, exclusive video, unforgettable images. For the best in real journalism, stay with CNN.
Monday on American Morning, honoring the men and women who fought for this country. I'm Bill Hemmer. Begin your Memorial Day with a special edition of American Morning. Personal stories from soldiers and families from Vietnam to Baghdad. CNN Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern.
Every night at 6, count on Lou Dobbs, the latest news to the day's newsmakers. If they're in the headlines, they're on Lou Dobbs' Moneyline. CNN weeknights, 6 Eastern.
Do you like The Lord of the Rings?
I love the movies, the books. They're all great. My favorite character, without question, is Gandalf.
You shall not pass!
He's just awesome. And then my second favorite, I like Sam.
I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. A promise. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee.
Favorite bad guy is, even though the ring rays and Saruman are good, Balrog.
Balrog.
Dark fire will not avail you. Flame of Udun!
We're back with Mattie Stepanek. Why do you love Lord of the Rings so much?
It's really, Lord of the Rings is an amazing fantasy novel. Just reading it, it's one of those books that just so easily takes you in and just puts you in this other world. And
Like the movies as much as the books?
I do. They're doing an amazing job with the movies.
Speaking of amazing, in Loving Through Hot Songs, which is, there's also going to be an album coming with music, we've discussed that. Mattie does his own drawings that are featured throughout this book, and I might say they are near Grandma Moses quality brilliant. Have you always been able to draw?
The pictures in my book are all finger paints, and I've been doing that for a long time, since I started doing these arts. But drawing with a pencil, it's tough for me to picture something in my mind. That's easy. Drawing it isn't as easy though, but I can copy a lot of stuff also.
All right, Mattie, let's go back to the phone calls. Rockaway Beach, Missouri. Hello.
Hi, Mattie.
Hello.
I think you're a great person for other kids to look at, and my question is, what keeps you going?
What keeps me going? There are a bunch of great figures in my life, and one of the things is friends. Friends and family, especially my mom. And it's always good to have someone next to you, lean on, hug, say, hey, how are you doing? They answer back, I'm doing okay, and you? And my mom, like I said, is a huge thing that keeps me going. And probably the biggest thing is God. I would not have lasted a minute, literally a minute, on this earth without God and angels by my side, because I was born, and right as I was born, I went into a respiratory arrest. So big things that keep me going are friends and family, God, and another thing is looking forward to what's going to happen tomorrow.
Want to read another poem before we continue?
Sure, yes, thank you. This one it's embedded in art. It's called Timeless Existence.
Okay.
And timeless existence. It is nice when people notice you are present, but it is important when people notice you are absent. It is said that absence makes the heart grow fonder. We should rather that presence makes the heart grow fondest. Then, even when we are gone into our future, we still live in the present of our past.
Rome, Georgia, for Mattie Stepanek. Hello.
Mattie, you're such an inspiration, and you're very welcome. And the question I have is, with your age, with your infinite wisdom being way beyond your age, years-wise, what words of comfort and advice would you offer to a family member in her early 30s who suddenly became paralyzed last year?
Suddenly became, keep hoping. No one can ever give up the hope. You're basically giving up life and waiting to be taken, waiting to die and saying, nope, that's it, I'm not doing this. Just because something happens. Like, I remember, I didn't always have this streak. I had it when I was a little baby. And I got back in. I got taken out, I'm sorry. And it was one of the best periods of life. I learned how to do flips off the diving. I got black belt, martial arts. Things I could never do attached to a trig. And then it came back in. And even though, sure, I can't flip around anymore, I keep looking forward to every day, doing something with my friends. And, always look towards the sunrise. Don't look back. Remember the past, don't dwell on it. Look towards the future, but don't count on it. And always enjoy every single second of the present.
Santa Cruz, California, for Mattie Stepanek. The new book is Loving Through Heart Songs. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I pray for you and your mother every night.
Thank you.
And I have two questions. What is your favorite subject in school? And is that doggone sore you had on the back of your head healing?
Well, to your first question, in my schoolwork, my favorite subject is probably my British literature and my world history. I also enjoy my vocabulary. And to give you an honest answer, my least favorite subject is biology. And for the second question, is that doggone sore on the back of my head gone? It is so close. It's been there for about 2 years now. And it's really coming so close. We're just praying and hoping and trying to give it the best medical care we can. And it's so close to healing. But we still need lots of prayers, and the sore will go away, and hopefully whatever's going on in my trachea will also go away.
You do karate, huh?
I used to, and I still every day I stretch, I meditate, but I used to love doing my martial arts. It was just so much fun, and I loved to do my staff routine, which is, some people call it a bow.
How long can you come out of the chair for?
I can still stand a little bit, but right now I'm really trying to limit my activity because moving around too much might move my trachea around too much. I stand up to reach things, to transfer into another chair or a bed, or to use the bathroom, just little things.
Tampa, Florida, for Mattie Stepanek. Hello.
Yes, Larry. My question for Mattie is when you go to sleep at night and you dream, do you see yourself with all the machines that have to help keep you alive, or do you see yourself before then, like when you were doing the karate as just a regular boy just running around?
Yeah, do you fly?
In my dreams, you know, across the years, and even now, I do a lot of things. Sometimes I'm with the equipment, and sometimes I'm without. I'm just doing whatever. I mean, one night I was dreaming that I was on the journey with the Fellowship of the Ring, and the next night I was dreaming that I was stuck with the hospital. And sometimes I dream I'm flying, and sometimes I dream I'm falling. It's really luck of the draw when I go to sleep. I usually dream good, dream bad, or just close my eyes, and then when I open them, it's morning. But sometimes I see myself in the chair, sometimes I see out of the chair.
Sarah's, California. Hello.
Hi, Mattie and Larry.
Hi.
First of all, I'd like to thank Mattie for the heart songs he has brought into my heart and my family. My question, I have two actually, is during your darkest times medically, Mattie, do you come up with some of your most heartfelt heart songs?
Sometimes, when I'm really having a hard time medically, I will pray and I will think. But usually I just pray straight to God. And St. Jude Thaddeus, St. Rita, and Blessed Brother Andre for just a miracle. Please help me. And sometimes I do think about my heart songs. I think about that a lot, yes.
We'll take a break and be back with more phone calls for Mattie Stepanek. Don't go away.
When I look at pictures and imagine what he would be like. Now a dozen years old, I wish I could have saved him from agelessness. And if crying could bring him back, he'd be here with me today. But then I remember it happened anyway.
Tired of cable TV rate hikes? Now's the time to switch to Dish Network Satellite TV. Get 132 digital channels, including 13 from HBO and Cinemax, free for 3 whole months. That's a value of over $149. Call now to get a free 2-room satellite TV system with free installation.
I'm so glad we switched to Dish Network from cable. It was getting way too expensive for what we got.
With Dish Network, all your channels have 100% digital picture and sound, not just some channels like digital cable. You get an easy-to-use on-screen program guide and a universal remote that works with your TV.
I can't believe how easy it was to have Dish Network installed in my home. I should have done it sooner.
Get 132 digital channels, including 13 channels from HBO and Cinemax, free for 3 months. Call now to get your free 2-room Dish Network satellite TV system with free installation. There's no better time to switch to Dish Network. Call for details.
There must be 50 ways the AeroBed saves the day. Like reason 19, you've got the guest room, but no guest bed. Number 3, your guest bed invites your guest to go away. Relax. Just plug in the AeroBed, push the button, and you have a comfortable, adjustable extra bed in less than 1 minute. The new pump is recessed and is 30% more powerful with quadra-coil construction for a smoother surface. It's even adjustable with our exclusive one-touch comfort control. And it can hold up to 650 pounds. Plus, it stores away in seconds. And now you can get the new and improved AeroBed at the same low price.
Call now to get the AeroBed for just 3 easy payments of only $33.
Plus, get this free carry bag and get our 30-night money-back guarantee.
Buy now. That's just 3 payments of $33, or visit a fine retail store near you.
How many ways will you use your AeroBed?
Monday on CNN Early Prime. At 5, heroes of the U.S. Armed Forces. At 6, keeping American jobs in the U.S. At 7, a rare look inside an aircraft carrier at war. CNN Early Prime, Monday. CNN Monday, Carol Channing's first love was forbidden by her mother. Now, 70 years later, she's just married her long-lost childhood sweetheart. The newlyweds take your calls only on Larry King Live. CNN Monday, 9 Eastern.
Is there an up and a down to this?
He's gone from mom to mom. Do you know how to do this?
No.
You can make up the next 400.
Okay, can you just like pretend like I got it on because I can't do it. Wait a minute.
I bet you wear a tux every single day.
You'd be thrilled if you got to wear a tux every single
I
day.
would. Ah, I can't even rub your shoulder. There's things on it.
You know what? You look nice too, dear.
I like the things. When you're done with it, can I have one of the things?
You've grown since we measured you a week ago, I think.
Mattie at a black tie affair. In the segment, read a couple of his poems. Let's get another call in. Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Hello.
Hey, Mattie.
Hello.
I got a couple things to say before I ask my questions. I would like to say you're a real good inspiration to everybody that works at Telethon, especially me.
Thank you.
Because I worked at Telethon every year. I'm 24 and went to the clinic to get to see if I got a thing called myotonic muscular dystrophy, which is also known as Steiner's disease. And I'm lucky to know that I don't have it, but I got to go back. But
What's your question, sir?
I got two questions. One is, Mattie, at what age did you get your disease? And two, do you like working with Jerry Lewis and the Telethon?
To answer your first question, I was born with this disease. All four of my brothers and my sister, all four of us were born with it. Me and my two brothers and my sister. And my mom was born with it, but it didn't kick in until she was an adult. And to answer your second question, I love working with Jerry Lewis and everyone else at the Telethon. They're great, they're fun, it's really amazing getting to go on the air.
Mattie, you want to read one of your poems before we take the next call?
Yes.
Go ahead.
This one is called Seeds for Thought. The sword is heavy and piercing sharp. Stronger than rock, it yields a mighty blow to the foe with each assault. The bow and arrow are light and swift. Silent war implement. It yields a surprise attack to front or back from a distance, and yet stronger than the sword, swifter than the arrow are words. Among the most powerful of all weapons, words can tear and hurt and cause pain and strife. Words can heal and comfort and sow peace in life. Heed the wisdom and use words with care.
Rockford, Illinois. Hello.
Hi, Mattie. First of all, you are a true hero. My question is double. Have there been any fundraisers for you and your family and for research? Because I'd like to challenge 10 million people in the United States to all send $1 or more to you. Maybe your parents could get a P.O. box, or we could send it to Larry, so that someday you can be a history professor for someone, because you truly are an inspiration.
Thank you very much. If you were going to do that, challenge everyone to just send $1. Don't send it to me or my mom. I'd rather it go straight to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Every cent counts. Every penny, every second of research will get us closer to a cure. I like that idea, but please make it to the MDA.
You want to do another poem before we get another call in?
Yes, please. This one is another one from my new book, Loving Through Heart Songs, about happiness. To me, happiness is traveling. Not really me traveling, but my heart songs traveling. When the songs in my heart travel out and around the world, in the things that I say, and in the poems and stories that I write, and in the prayers that I feel to God, and when the letters and words of those heart songs bring some peace to the countries and people who have war in their lives, that is real happiness to me.
Let's get in one more call. Erie, Pennsylvania. Hello.
Hi, Mattie, I'm 11, and I was wondering what your main goal in life is.
My main goal in life, first of all, is to live every day to the fullest, no matter how long that is. I want to become a poet and a peacemaker.
You're both already.
Spread my peace throughout the world. And I want to expand more and keep writing and keep speaking. And when I am gone, I want to be remembered as a poet, a peacemaker, and a philosopher who plays.
Mattie, you're
and I
a great
also want to be a daddy.
I know that. That's good, too. You're a great little boy. Good luck at the hospital tomorrow. Get
Thank you.
better soon. You're in our thoughts.
Thank you. You too.
Every time we have Mattie on, people wonder how they can help. Mattie and his mom, Jenny, have asked everyone to go out and donate blood and platelets. It's not hard to do, and trust me, it doesn't hurt. Of course, thoughts and prayers are also appreciated. Next, another incredible young talent, Billy Gilman. He's put Mattie's words to music. Hear and see the results when we come back.
The color of sky is blues and grays. The color of earth is greens and browns. The color of hope is rainbows and purple. And the color of peace is people together.
All day Monday, CNN brings you a special look at our day of remembrance. From the ceremonies to the events, CNN takes you there live around the country. Don't miss our Memorial Day coverage. CNN All Day Monday.
Monday on American Morning, honoring the men and women who fought for this country. Personal stories from soldiers and families from Vietnam to Baghdad. CNN Monday, 7 a.m.
high-speed internet. Call now for a great deal.
The very best of Fleetwood Mac. 36 of the most memorable songs from 3 decades of their brilliant career. This collection includes a CD enhancement featuring exclusive footage of the making of their new 2003 album.
And I saw my reflection in snow-covered hills.
To order the very best of Fleetwood Mac 2 CD collection, call the number on your screen or send check or money order for $24.98 plus shipping and handling to the address shown. Call now and receive a free lithograph with your order. Rush delivery available.
Can we do a little? Can we go again? Can we do a little? Can we go again? Can we do a little? Can we go again? Can we do a little? Can we go again?
Comcast high-speed internet. Call now for a great deal.
CNN, the most trusted name in news.
We're going to close the program tonight, our special rebroadcast of the interview with Mattie Stepanek, by listening to the wonderful sounds of Billy Gilman, the vocalist and entertainer. His debut single, One Voice, sold over 3 million. His new CD, Music Through Heart Songs, are songs based on the poems of Mattie Stepanek. It's a collaborative effort between Billy and the New York Times best-selling poet Mattie himself, and a whole bunch of wonderful people associated with this. Billy, what song are you singing from this recording?
I'm going to be singing the first single. It's called I Am Shades of Life.
What do you make of these poems?
It's just so inspiring, and you know, I just love to sing about them because The world is so crazy nowadays, and it's just good to hear songs like these filled with hope and inspiration.
And our mutual friend Bruce Roberts had a lot to do with the production?
Absolutely. He produced a couple of songs, wrote a couple of songs, and I thank him a lot. David Malloy as well, so they're all great.
All right, here to close the program, the great Billy Gilman, what a talent, with the song From Music Through Heart Songs, now available everywhere. Watch and listen.
I am black, I am white, I am all skins in between. I am young, I am old, I am each age that has been. I am scrawny, I am well fed, I am starving for attention. I am famous, I am cryptic, I am hardly worth a mention. I am slave, I am free, I am bonded to my life. I am rich, I am poor, I am wealth of its tribe. The color of sky is blues and grays. The color of earth is greens and browns. The color of hope is rainbows and purple. And the color of peace is people together. People together. I am shadow, I am glory, I am hiding from my shame. I am hero, I am loser, I am yearning for a name. I am empty, I am proud, I am seeking my tomorrow. I am growing, I am fading, I am bold but never sorrow.
I am certain, I am doubtful, I am desperate for solutions. I am leader, I am student, I am fate and evolution.
I am spirit, I am voice, I am memory not recalled. I am chance, I am cause, I am effort blocked and walled. I am many, I am no one, I am seasoned by each being. I am me, I am you, I am also now to create. The color of sky is blues and gray. The color of earth is greens and browns. The color of hope is rainbows and purple. And the color of peace is shades of light.
I was stage 4 and considered terminal. A 1% chance of survival. That pretty much stamps out any hope.
Pack it up, write your will, take your last vacation.
I broke down for about 15 minutes. I just couldn't stop crying.
And then I would find a commercial for Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and my life changed.
There's always hope that it's possible to survive my kind of cancer.
I cannot imagine raising my son without him. And if we had not gone to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, I really don't think that we would have him here today.
Our cancer information specialists are available 24 hours a day. Call now and they'll send you overnight this free life-changing video and information kit that shows you how state-of-the-art medicine combines with unique therapies to give you treatment options you may not even know exist.
It is never too late. As long as we're breathing, it's not too late to seek another opinion.
They give you a new lease on life. It's worth everything.
Hi, I'm Jan Muller, and you've seen me demonstrating space bags on TV for over 7 years, with over 30 million space bags sold worldwide. Why? Because space bags are guaranteed to turn this closet into this closet. Simply pack your items into space bag and seal the zipper with our brand new Sure Zip Sealer. Then, just vacuum out the air. Your items are vacuum sealed and safe. No matter where you store them, everything comes right back to life. Our jumbo bag holds 2 comforters and 4 pillows. And our large bag holds up to 12 sweaters. Space bags have sold for as much as $40 on TV. With my special offer, you pay only $19.95. Plus, get the sport and travel bags absolutely free. That's a total of 5 space bags.
Get Jen's amazing TV offer from Space Bag. Remember, you get a total of 5 space bags, 1 jumbo, 2 large, 1 travel, and 1 sport bag for the incredible price of $19.95. Call 1-800-398-5588.
The power of trust. America's most credible news source, year after year. The power of CNN. The most trusted name.
That was a picture at the Arlington National Cemetery at the Tomb of the Unknown, and I'm joined by Colonel Jack Jacobs, Army retired, who is with me here this morning. And first of all, Jack, talk a little bit about the history of the Tomb of the Unknown.
Well, the tomb contains the remains of a service person from each of the wars in which we fought. And in addition to that,